Okay, so I've got my first 2020 Amazon DE unboxing. Ordered on the 3rd, received on the 23rd, 20 days to get this. A little bit beat up, about average for Amazon DE. Yep, that is the Wera VDE socket set. Okay, so I've got 3 items. Let's take these items out of the box. Yet another, so this is my 3rd hot set bit holder. I've mentioned before that I love these. They work wonderfully for these Japanese Vessel brand bits that don't have the Western 9mm anvil. They have this 13mm anvil. I don't know what it is about these hot set bit holders, but they hold those things just perfectly. Not locked, just snugly, very little play in it. I just really like these things, and they're cheap. Got my 3rd one of those hot set bit holders. Now this, I'm gonna push this one out of the way a little bit here. That's gonna be last. I already did a review on this socket set, and I mentioned that there's no 4.5 in this set. So I bought the 4.5, and these are all of the sockets in this FA style that has this 11mm hex on it. So let's take this out and show you what I'm talking about. So these fit in here, they're low profile. This phyllo doesn't belong in there. So these are low profile, they fit in there, they lock in, and this is 11mm. And that's probably why, or I don't know, maybe that's one reason why they didn't put an 11mm socket, is because you have 11mm right here. And since I don't have a place to put this 4.5mm socket, I'm gonna have to just leave it in there and leave it like that, and hopefully it closes up. Yep, closes up just fine. So now I've got all of these FA style sockets that Wera makes. And why did I have the phyllo in here? Well, German Tool Reviews did a comparison of these mini bit ratchets a while back. It's an excellent video. Go find it, go check it out on German Tool Reviews YouTube channel. I can't remember what his conclusions were, but my conclusions were, hey, I got to get this phyllo bit ratchet. And this thing is much softer and much smoother and much nicer than the Wera. I gotta say it. I just gotta say it. So I keep the phyllo in here. That's why it was in here when I started the video. And I do keep it in there. Okay, just like that. All right, so that is that. So there are not very many reviews of this Wera Zyklop VDE socket set because it's very expensive and it is a very limited use case. You know, most DIYers and hobbyists like me are rarely, if ever, going to need this. But I received some unexpected generosity over Christmas, and this is what I decided to buy. So this is the typically awesome Wera boxing and packaging. Get this for their Wera to go system, get a sticker, and that, and then here is the unit. Okay, so there it is. And the first impression that I had when I opened it was, it's bulky. When you see the pictures, you don't necessarily get that impression. However, they made this in such a way that it's supposedly less bulky than other VDE socket sets on the market. So anyway, let's take a look at it. So this is the socket handle. It's got a nice weight to it. This handle is grippy. It's nice. It's a nice handle. Very nice actuating switch. This button for the lock, for the detent lock, is easy to push. It's not real hard to press that. It's nice. These are the twist and lock holders. So you twist and remove, put it in, twist, and it's stuck. So it's a very nice case, very well organized. So in case you haven't figured it out, I have already unboxed this and taken a look at it. But one of the things that I was a little surprised is that there's no lock for the extensions. Of course, you have the lock when you put the socket on. You can't pull that apart. It stays where it is. The other thing that surprised me is how light these sockets are. So let me show you. Let's get this out here. Okay, so here's 19 millimeter socket, 19 millimeter socket. 61 grams. So an 11 gram difference. These are light. Here's the 8 millimeter. Eight millimeter. Okay, so this one is heavier than this one. But when you get into the larger sizes, okay, so here is a 13, 39 grams, 13, 36 grams. Okay, so when you get into the sizes 13, 14, the weight is about the same, but when you get into these larger sizes, these are a fair bit lighter. Let's do this. 330, 299. So one of the things that's mentioned about these sets as a additional benefit to it being high voltage safe is that it's non-marring. And I was surprised to find that the metal protrudes beyond the plastic. So that protrusion is 0.68 millimeters. So 3.27. It looks to be about the same. So this is 30.5 millimeters, 25. So it's considerably more bulky, but people know that. So in my attempt to try to make a case for a non-professional DIYer buying a socket set like this, I guess I would say it adds a little bit of safety when you're working with regular batteries, lawnmower batteries, car batteries, whatever, so that the wrench doesn't hit and short that out. This one isn't going to short out either. And the other thing is that if you put the nut on this side, then you're working over here and it's less likely to short out. The main issue with these VDE socket sets is the bulk. It fits. I mean, it barely fits in there, but it does. So I mean, the extra bulk on these sockets gets to be an issue in places. So one of the things I was hoping to use this for was when I add different things to my robot, I always end up stacking them on those terminals for the battery. It's an 8mm bolt that came with the batteries, and this 8mm socket is so bulky that it's difficult, but it's possible. It does work. You know, I can get it on there, and I can get that loose. Okay, and I can get that back on there, and I can tighten it without any risk of shorting it out, but you know, that's going to get marred up over time. And then the anti-marring aspect of it is a little bit of a letdown as well, because the metal protrudes past the plastic, and I was hoping to prevent scratching on the spray paint on the aluminum by using these sockets. But they, you know, I don't know how much marring they're actually going to prevent. But we'll see. I'll use them. Can't use it in this situation. I can't even use this one in that situation. But anyway, but this, you know, makes a nice non-marring handle. It's not going to scratch anything up. Of course, this one really isn't going to scratch anything up either. And I plan on converting this lead acid over to a custom lithium iron phosphate. That's what I anticipate using this set for the most. This is not something a do-it-yourselfer is probably going to buy. It's a very expensive set. So these sockets can be purchased individually. This can be purchased individually, and I think I also saw these extensions available individually. So how does it work with a regular Zyklop ratchet? It doesn't work without an extension. You have to have an extension, but not this extension. You have to use this extension. And then the lock gets covered up. So this lock gets covered up. And you could use this, you know, just to do, you know, battery terminals or something like that. Something that's not life-threatening. And of course you can use regular sockets on here. And you can use regular sockets on here like that. Compared to a 3/8 Wera Zyklop, 36 roughly millimeters on that. But this one you've got an extra Okay, let's check the depth. Okay, so the depth of the socket is the same. I'm not an electrician. I'm not an auto mechanic that works on electric cars. I do own a Chevy Volt. I don't anticipate ever having to use this set on that car, although I have toyed with the idea of tearing it down and turning it into a power wall, but I doubt that that's ever going to happen. What's more likely to happen is to build a DIY power wall out of lithium cells an inverter, charge controller, solar panels, all of that stuff. And I will use this to prevent shorting things out. Not because I think my life is in danger, but just to prevent things from getting shorted out. But even to change a battery on my lawnmower, I'm probably gonna put the 11mm in there and use this to go change the battery, just because it's far less likely that I'll short the battery out by bumping a wrench between the two contacts or anything like that. Not that that's ever happened before, but with this, it definitely won't. Nothing will get damaged, nothing will get shorted out. I am surprised at the bulk and the size of it. I am surprised that these extensions don't have any locking feature at the end. Not that that's a deal breaker, but it's a nice set. Once again, very nice tools from Wera. I hope you enjoyed that look at the Wera Zyklop VDE socket set. Thank you for watching.